Welcome to Subramani. I'm going to talk, could be a little longish video. I'm going to talk about the Adani indictment in the US courts, typically by the FBI in the New York court for bribery and fraud. And many of the people have been named. Important name for us is Gautam Adani. And his nephew Sagar Adani, Vineet Jain, a few other people who have been named. The people from Canada who have invested in these bonds or who are about to invest in these bonds. I am not very sure whether the deal went through or it did not go through, because they were supposed to raise money to pay off some of their past loans from India, past loans, and I think they stopped the issue halfway. I don't think they raised the money, but I'm not very sure. It's too long a document. It is 54 pages, right? So it's a serious one, right? It's not something which can be just brushed off. And there are 5 counts for fraud: securities fraud, wire fraud, bribery, 250 million paid to Indian officials, violation of FCP, which is the foreign corruption practices. Corrupt practices done abroad is a crime which can be prosecuted in the US if you have raised money in the US or you're about to raise money in the US. Anything like this, something comes out, then there can be you can be prosecuted. And the obstruction of justice, again very serious matter, which means you have you had evidence, you have destroyed evidence and all that, right? So and the bribery happened between 2020 and 2024, which means the company is being watched for a very long period of time. They had issued bonds, which I said projects were supposed to yield $20 billion profit after tax over a longer period of time. And Gautam Adani met Indian officials from Solar Energy Corporation of India, which is a Navratna. I'll come to the gist of the case, and I'll also tell you one thing. It is easy for some right wingers to say, oh, this is all part of the outgoing Biden government. When Mr. Trump comes, all this will go away. Believe me, it's too insignificant for Trump. Trump wouldn't even bother to hear about this. It's too small a case for Trump. It's not Elon Musk's case, it is Gautam Adani's case. Maybe Gautam Adani is a donor to the Republican Party. I have no clue on that, but it's too insignificant a case for Donald Trump. So the FBI case involving Adani Green centers around allegations of bribery and fraud against Indian officials. Why should they be prosecuted in the US for fraud committed in India or bribe committed in India? Because you're trying to raise money in the US. So I think it's a very risky thing to do. Small companies or big companies should be very careful raising money abroad or doing any financial transaction abroad. Some top Indian banks don't have a branch there, right? So it could be very profitable, but the risk is just too high, not worth it. So what are the charges and what are the allegations? Gautam Adani, along with his nephew Sagar Adani and other executives, have been charged by the US authorities for allegedly scheme to bribe Indian government officials to obtain solar energy supply contracts. The project involved was described as one of the world's largest solar energy projects, which obviously includes prevention of corrupt practices abroad, right? Securities fraud and wire fraud. I summarize that. What seems to have happened is Gautam Adani was to set up a huge solar project which had to be sold to somebody. So in comes Indian Navratna. It is easy to deal with one Navratna and tell that Navratna, I will give you 12 gigawatts of power. Very good idea, but that company is not going to keep the power. It has to sell it forward. So it could not find buyers at a particular price. In the whole order of 54 pages, the price is not mentioned, but they have said at such exorbitantly high prices or such high prices, something like that, So which means the prices were high, and SECI could not find buyers. Because it could not find buyers, it would not have signed a deal with the Adani group. And if you don't sign a deal with the Adani group, Adani will not be able to raise money abroad. Therefore, Adani went about catching hold of one person, perhaps in the Andhra Pradesh government, it's still not very clear, giving him an X amount of money and signing deal with 4-5 other state governments. Funnily, all the other state governments have been ruled by non-BJP. I mean, all the states are non-BJP states, right? There is Jammu and Kashmir under the government, Jammu and Kashmir, which had a lieutenant governor. Now, we don't know whether every state government was given some incentive, by whom, because all the money seems to have gone to one person, or the biggest portion, 1750 crores, seems to have gone to one person in Andhra Pradesh, who may have taken everything and done obviously he hasn't kept the whole thing. He has given to government of Orissa, government of Tamil Nadu, there were five state government, Orissa, Tamil Nadu, Jammu and Kashmir. I don't remember as and when I see it in my notes I'll tell you, but there are 5 states. Investigation evidence is based includes, it is impossible to believe the kind of indictment order which has come, which says that includes electronic communication, WhatsApp and detailed records of bribes referred to as incentives. In fact, it goes on to say Sagar traced the bribe to the last stage. Somebody else kept a PPT and Excel sheets. They have had access to everything. I would call this Pegasus ka baap, right? So somehow they've got access to everything. FBI must have got a court order saying we want all this, and they have been tracking this since 2020, which makes it a little suspicious as to why would you start investigating from 2020 for an event which is for a company which is raising money now, and that too from a company in Canada, or from a company in Canada which is perhaps a pension fund. The names are there, but I think for Indian investors those are quite does not really matter. Adani Green raised significant capital from US investors with allegations suggesting that this was done by making false statements. False statements means you did not say that you got this contract by bribing. I don't see anybody who goes and says I got this contract by bribing, but that's what the allegation is. This led to misleading investors, which is a significant part of the fraud charge. Fair enough. Adani Green has decided to halt its proposed US bond offerings. Now this is little funny because I don't know whether they went through with the bond offerings or did not. It was supposed to be a $600 million bond offering or a $200 million bond offering. It's not clear from that, and I have not done enough research on that. So market reaction was obviously there was a sharp drop in the prices of the Adani Group shares. It's perhaps an opportunity to buy. I would go and buy the shares of say Ambuja Cement or Adani Ports or maybe Adani Enterprises itself, right? Some of these things could go down, could go up, you never know. There is one theory which says all this is happening now, waiting for Trump to come, and just before Trump comes, the Democrats wanted to push all the shit that they had on everybody that they could, so as to create a big mess. The second allegation is this is done by Rahul Gandhi and gang to stop the Waqf bill from coming, because they could not do anything else. So they will keep shouting Adani, Adani in the parliament, make sure that the parliament does not sit to consider the Waqf bill. We have no clue on all that. All that is possible, but let us look at how the market reacts over 3-4 days, because the market initially reacts in panic, then there is a lower circuit, then there's a second lower circuit, then there is buying, then the price goes up, then there's again a lower circuit. So market does not know how to react. It takes 2-3 days. Some big mutual fund has gone and bought a lot of shares yesterday when the market fell. Arrest warrants have been, what has happened is arrest warrants have been issued against Gautam Adani and other key figures, I mean Sagar Adani, Vineet Jain, etc. and with the US Department of Justice and SEC also filing charges, indicating a comprehensive legal approach involving both criminal and civil actions. Fairly obvious, this is just an invitation to Adani to go and hire a good lawyer. So they will hire a lobbyist and they will hire a lawyer. And the public reaction has been, there is the political fallout, of course. Rahul Gandhi saying, Gautam Adani should be arrested, and Gautam Adani is being protected by Narendra Modi and all such stuff. Of course, the case is still unfolding, and this is not my last video. This is my first video, so some more videos are likely to be made. But this is a serious allegation. Don't just brush it off saying, oh, it's just one more deep state kind of stuff. I have no clue what will be the future implications, but if I were you, I would not be too keen to buy Adani Green shares or Adani Power shares. I don't know what implication it will have, but it's a good opportunity perhaps to buy Gujarat Ambuja Cement, or it's called Ambuja Cement now, right? So you could, or Adani Ports. I don't think there's too great an implication, but I heard yesterday that Kenya has cancelled some port or airport or energy thing, but I have no clue what it is, because Kenya can't be worried about corruption in India, right? So I have no clue about that, but whatever is the implication, I can tell you I went and bought Ambuja Cement and I am in the green. Here green seems to have some other implications, but yeah, I am in the black. Thank you.